We are at 5:30. Now I am only seeing three of our members online. We do need four to reach quorum. So if we can sit tight, hopefully our fourth member will join us. We will wait until 5:45, the full 15 minutes, if our fourth member does not join us. Okay.
Come on, we waited so long for this.
I did get a yes from them, so we are hoping that we will see their face. I will reach out again and see if they can join.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope we can. I know, especially for you, David and Alicia, we haven't been able to do anything. You guys get on this committee, and we haven't done anything. So I'm so excited to hopefully be able to get working again and get some activity and things moving. You've both been really good sports about it, though.
Yeah,
it's learning easier, I find.
Yeah. Ease into it, right?
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can meet, because I know Rochelle's got some good updates. And hey, Goggin and Rochelle, are we allowed to talk about AMO?
We had an update on the climate tool, a brief one, so I think you should be able to just talk about that one too, but I will leave that to the clerk.
Okay. I just didn't know. I didn't know if it was official yet or anything. So I just wanted to make sure.
It's official. It's official, yeah.
Rochelle's kind of going like this.
Well, we still have to submit more information to them, and I think there's still a few check boxes to go through, but
okay, well, we'll keep that in mind when we mention it. There we go. There's Mark. Yay, we have quorum. Hey, Mark, how are you? I don't know if he can hear. Can you hear us, Mark? I think he can.
Mark, are you able to hear us? Can you give us a thumbs up if you can hear us? Okay, you can hear us. Excellent.
I have to shut off my video and mute because I have to dish up supper for everybody else. But I will be listening, so I'm here.
Can we do that with committees, Lisa? I know that camera's off. We in other groups, it's not considered to be present.
We have made it work in the past.
Okay,
I will, when we do votes, we will have to prompt. If you can leave your video on so we know that you're here, that is ideal. You can keep yourself muted.
Okay, I will just be a couple minutes anyway. I'll set it where you'll get to look at the side of a piece of furniture. How's that?
Okay. So we are going to begin tonight with our elections for chair and vice chair. So we don't have too many members here present tonight, but I'm looking for a nomination for chair.
well, hey, let's start this way. So David and Alicia, I'm prepared to nominate both of you for chair and vice chair, but I'm wondering if either of you have a preference for one or the other, or none. We won't force you.
You do have that chair's roadmap there. It is more or less a script. So everything in yellow is what you're going to read, and I can resend it to you again. So you've got it right in front of you if you like.
Yeah. I'd prefer vice or neither, but I don't know how David feels.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with the chair. That's fine. I can go through it. The other individual who was the chair, it's escaping me, Jonathan. Is he no longer able to do it, or? He
is still part of the committee.
Okay.
I did just receive regrets from him tonight, so he wasn't able to join us for this evening.
Yeah.
So before we
happy to.
So David, you will be acclaimed to chair then, and Alicia, you're okay to be acclaimed to vice chair then?
Yes, that's fine.
Yes. Okay. So in David's absence, then you will be the chair. Before we begin with the meeting, I'm going to invite Gagan to come on and just introduce herself. She is now managing a number of things under this committee. So I'm just going to let her kind of provide a little bit of information. And then in the meantime, David, I will resend you that roadmap. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Lisa. So I just wanted to introduce myself real quick. My name is Gagan Batra, the manager of the Business Support and Sustainability Office. I thought it was important just to introduce myself because it is a new office that we've established at the city, and we're super excited because sustainability is in the name. So Rochelle, I'm sure you are all familiar with her. She's joined this office. So she will be continuing to lead the climate change initiatives, that portfolio out of this office. And going forward, we will come to this committee and present all of the updates that we have, come for feedback before we go to COW as normal. And yeah, we'll be presenting our updates to the committee as they wish to meet. So just wanted to introduce myself so everybody's aware. And if there's any questions, I'm happy to take them, but just really excited to get on this committee.
Lisa, can we just do introductions all around? I know some of us have met, but we've got, we've got Indy here, we've got Rochelle, we've got Brian.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're new.
Yes, I am new as well. And we do have some new members joining us at the March meeting. So we will have some more new faces. So yeah, I'll start with my introduction. My name is Lisa. I'm one of the committee coordinators with the city. I've been on for about 6 months now. Yeah, I really love what I'm doing. So I'm looking forward to continuing working with you guys. I'll pass it off to our chair, and our chair can call on people to come forward and speak and introduce themselves.
Sure. Yeah. We'll do some introductions, I guess, from everyone else. I don't mind going as well. My name's David Kilster. I'm a member from the community on this committee. I'm an environmental planner by training, working with a engineering company. So happy to continue to be involved in this committee and just look forward to ways that we can improve Brantford and improve the way that we're operating as a city, but also engaging the community as well, and looking forward to tying those things together so we're all moving forward in the same direction. So glad to be in this role, and look forward to hearing from everyone else. Alicia, do you want to go next?
Sure. So hi, Melissa Les. I'm also a community member, and I guess I'm just most looking forward to participating in some events when we're able to get those up and running.
Okay, Mark, do you want to go next?
Sure. I have been on this committee. It's 6 years now since I joined the committee, and I'm looking forward to continuing to contribute. And I am an historian and pastor by profession.
Great. Counselor, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Cheryl Antosky. I'm Councillor Ward 4 and Council Rep for this committee. I am also excited to get back to work and have regular meetings and actually take some action on keep moving forward, keep moving the ball forward.
That's great. Who's next? Rochelle? Sure. Saw that hand.
Thought I'd jump in there. I'm Rochelle Romney. I'm the climate change officer at the city and the liaison for this committee. So I can, help push things along that SPEC wants to do, or come to you guys with projects that the city is working on, looking for feedback from SPEC committee. I think we've all met before, but happy to see you again after so long.
That's great. Next up on my list here, Brian Hutchings.
I wasn't sure we were going to go in order or not. So I'm Brian Hutchings. I'm the city CAO. I've been at the city now for 2.5 years. I come from worked in municipality in the worked in healthcare in the 90s and in municipality, regional municipality Niagara in the 2000s, and then at Brock University in the 2010s. And Brock's UNESCO biosphere, only place in North America, actually, University of North America. So a big issue at Brock. When I first started, I spent a lot of time at this committee, and for some reason it's fallen off in the last little bit. Haven't seen it. Very interested in it. Very involved with it. But your day-to-day is, Rochelle, I'll be honest, I'm here at a more interest and I go to a lot of the committees and sit and listen and stuff and what my staff are doing and learn from my staff as well, and try to move as much as I can and set the tone at the top of the organization.
I missed it if you said it, but Brian's our CAO. He's the grand poobah.
Yeah. So I don't talk to person in charge, talk to people who know what's going on. Talk to Rochelle and Guggen. So thanks.
Yeah, welcome. That's great. Gagan, do you want to introduce yourself as well? I think you kind of did already. Yeah, you did off the top. So if you want to skip, then that's fine too. I think you.
Hey again.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, Gagan Batra, Manager of Business Support and Sustainability. I'm excited to be on this committee, environment, climate change, very exciting and interesting topics for me. So I'm very excited to see this move forward. And this is my first time attending a committee, but very excited to be here.
Thanks, great. And Indy is the last I see.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Indy Hans, General Manager of Public Works. So I oversee 5 operating departments, and then did create this new department, Business Support and Sustainability. It's as an overall, as I picture to Gagan, is the middle gear of all the big gears. So information comes in through this department, feeds and turns the other gears, and as they turn, they feed it back into this department, and we make sure that a lot of the sustainable projects and initiatives that we have is fed in through to all the departments in their everyday activities. So really excited to see what this committee has in the future, and I'm here to help guide Public Works to ensure that those initiatives are put in place. Thanks.
Great, we've got a good group tonight then. For the clerk, do we, now that we're through the introductions, does that take care of the roll call section, or do we still need to?
So I have taken the roll. Chair, if you want to start with that second sentence, that I would like to remind the committee, those are just some rules of procedure that we provide to the committee just for their rules of participation.
Sure. I've got it up right now. So I would just like to remind the committee and staff that and the viewing public of the electronic participation policy for virtual meetings. The full corporate policy for electronic meetings is available online to review. Staff and delegates are reminded to keep their video and microphones off until requested by the chair and members of the committee. All cameras for committee members shall remain on to ensure quorum. Do you want me to read all of it?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Okay, sure. In the event of a connection service disruption occurs that affects quorum, we may recess the meeting for up to 15 minutes to regain quorum. If quorum is not achieved, the meeting will be adjourned. All rules for delegations under the city's procedural bylaw continue to apply. All members of the committee participating via online video conference will vote by physical show of hands. The chair will indicate to leave your hands raised until they have determined the result of the vote. Okay. So moving on to the next section, we have the declarations of conflict of interest. Anyone? Seeing none. Okay, moving on to the next section. Presentations and delegations. There's none tonight, no presentations or delegations. Item number 5, or items for consideration, number 5, climate lens, climate action and clean Brantford update. Rochelle, just calling on you to provide a brief update for that item.
Great, thank you so much, Chair. Yeah, I just wanted to go over this report that was attached to the agenda that just outlines a bit of the work that we've been doing and a report that's coming to Committee of the Whole operations next week. So if you are interested in reviewing that full report, we can certainly send the link when that's posted online. I think that should be posted tomorrow or Monday at the latest. But just to give you a high level sort of overview of what that includes, the first item in the report is the climate lens overview. So I think the last time we met, we were talking about the climate lens tool that had been developed for the city. And I think I gave you a bit of a demo of what that process was going to look like. So that's now in place. It was in place starting November of last year. And so we've had the first quarter of results come in from city staff reports on what the climate and environmental impacts are from staff reports and council decisions. So the idea there is to try to quantify any emissions that are being approved by council, just for some extra information at this stage. So we have that information that will all be detailed in the committee of the whole report, if you wanted to go through that information. But I have found it very interesting, just anecdotally. It's started some great conversations already at council and with staff. I've certainly been talking to people around the city that I've never interacted with before, and we have conversations about environmental and climate impacts for all of the different pieces that are happening around the city. There's just so much going on, and having this extra lens on the conversation has been really interesting, I think valuable so far. So yeah, if you guys are interested in learning more about the specifics of what that looks like, I would definitely recommend looking at that staff report that will be at Committee of the Whole next week on Tuesday. And the plan is going forward to have quarterly updates provided, and then a detailed annual report on all of the decisions and sort of a summation of all of the emissions that have been approved through council, both annually and over the lifetime of the projects that have been approved. So I'll just pause there. There's 3 items on this report, but I'll just pause in between them if there's any questions about specifics on that item.
Okay. Sorry, through you, Chair.
Sure.
Sorry, I wasn't quick enough on my mute button. I just wanted to,
no problem.
You heard us alluding to this at the beginning of the meeting. The climate tool is actually very exciting. Rochelle is very, very calm and relaxed about it. This is really exciting. She's really kind of ahead of the curve. There are a lot of municipalities that are really grappling with how do we measure this stuff and what do we do with it and how do we report. And they put in an application to speak about this tool, to present this tool at AMO, which is the Association of Municipalities of Ontario. And that submission has been accepted by AMO. So very exciting that Rochelle and Goggin are going to be representing the city of Brantford with a very forward-thinking tool.
Yes, yeah. Thanks, Councilor Husky. That's the Municipal Energy Symposium. So if you guys are interested, maybe opportunity to listen into that. I think it's at the end of March. Okay, anything else on that item?
Just one thing on that, adding on to that, is that something that's going to be publicly posted at some point, or is that like for that conference? Or
I'm not sure. I think that I'd have to look at the symposium itself and how you're able to participate in that, if you have to pay or not. Sure. But I can provide more information on that for you. Okay.
Just curious if it's always nice to promote these things, so that'd be good to know. Sure. Thanks.
Okay, so the next item on here is the climate action work plan. So we put together a work plan for the coming year. So these were items that were included in the corporate climate change action plan. So we've identified 11 items within that plan to work on this year and sort of get an idea of what it is that's coming up and sort of the plans and policies that will be in place hopefully by the end of 2022. So yeah, please, if you're interested in understanding what those are, a lot of them are policies and plans and a few things where it's corporate focused, certainly. One of them also includes the community climate change action plan that is a larger plan focused on reducing emissions across the community. So the detailed list is in the Committee of the Whole report, if you're interested in looking at that in particular. One also that's detailed in that report is the tree canopy expansion program. So there's going to be another tree planting program this year. I think probably we spoke about that last year around this time. So that there will be some good tree planting activity coming up this year. Yep. Councillor Antofsky.
Through you, Chair. Rochelle, I'm assuming, and I know we're just finalizing the community climate action plan, but I'm assuming that you'll be working with us to find ways for us to really help push that out into the community and you know, help the chair and the vice chair figure out a strategy in terms of what the best use of this committee is for the community climate action plan. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to bring a draft of that report through this committee as well for their review and comment, and yeah, promoting participation in commenting on that. There will be a public engagement process starting in March and April. So yeah, I'd love to get some feedback from SPAC on how we can broaden our reach with that. Okay, I will move on to the last item, which is the Clean Brantford campaign. So Clean Brantford is a campaign that we launched a couple of years ago now and has had a bit of trouble getting off the ground because of COVID. And we've been trying to host or organize litter cleanup events in the community, and it's been canceled in the last couple of years. But we are trying again, 2022, feeling a bit more hopeful. And just wanted to, yeah, provide a bit of background on that and ask SPAC about getting involved if you guys are interested in still doing that. So there's a couple different elements to this campaign. It's a community litter cleanup that you can register online and just do a cleanup, whatever size of group or area that you'd like. And then we'll have some local pickup locations. You can drop off your litter, and then the city will take that away to dispose of. So we're hoping to have maybe like 5 hubs around the community where we can do that and take litter from there to the landfill. And there's also a school cleanup that's being organized by both the Catholic School Board and the Public School Board, that they're going to take care of their own supplies and disposal, but organizing those cleanups around the same time. So this is all planned for Earth Day and sort of the days leading up to Earth Day. So Earth Day is April 22nd. It's on a Friday this year. The schoolyard cleanups will be the week before that. And then the public cleanup days will be April 22nd, the Friday, and April 23rd, the Saturday. There's also going to be an education campaign to promote sort of the anti-littering message and the event itself and get people to register for that. So I did have a question for discussion from the committee. There was discussion about getting some data and some metrics on how much litter is collected. And so since we have these 5, we're trying to limit it to 5-ish hubs where we're going to have people bring that litter. It's a good opportunity to measure that and try to get some information on how much litter was collected, how much recycling was collected, those sorts of questions. And of course, SPAC was thought of as the committee that could maybe organize or get involved in that. So I just wanted to open that up for discussion. And if you guys have questions about the details of that event, I'm happy to provide more information.
Yeah, Councillor. I think you're muted.
Sorry, I'm having trouble with my mouse. I was hoping others had comment. I'll fill in a little bit. SPAC has had a subcommittee in the past, which is called the Green Team, that was focused on these kind of metrics, right? So how much can we divert? So how much is organic? How much is recycling? And how small can we make the actual litter? So we may need to have conversations because everybody here, well, I think Mark was involved the 1 year, but everybody else has not been involved in that. So we may have to have some discussions with, more specifically in terms of what's required and what the details are to see who's involved. And we're missing half of the committee too. So I think it's a good way, again, to get forward facing in a relatively easy way if we're narrowing it down to five locations, which sounds great, but depending on what you want to do, Chair, that's something that we could talk about in more detail outside of the meeting.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea to to figure out what was done for previous Canada Days around that, and I think we'd also be looking for the bins and everything else to be provided, I would assume, and then we would be maybe at each of the hubs, like a representative from the committee, and help with that diversion. Is that how it was done previously? And then I understand previously there was some like a weighing of that or of the bins that were collected. So is that correct? Mark's nodding his head.
Yeah, that's how it was done for Canada
Okay.
Day. This will be much, much smaller, but yeah,
Right.
I like your idea of having, a rep at each location and really providing some education pieces at each site.
Right. And I think, more so providing, using existing city materials on diversion, and showing them tools that, they can look up what piece they have and then they can put it in the bin themselves, right? We want to encourage them to do some of this, right? And to recognize that there's tools available already. I think if we can make use of that kind of stuff, that would be really helpful. So we don't have to start from scratch.
Yeah, I think this might be a little bit of a, and Rochelle, feel free to correct me. From an infrastructure perspective, this might be a bit different because I think what's happening is people from all over the city are doing collections and then they're bringing what they've collected, probably at this point, I'm guessing separated into recyclables and landfill. And then they're bringing them to those sites. So we don't have the same opportunity as we do at Canada Day, where we set up the 3 bins and we're standing at them all and they come and put them in. Like, they're coming with bags already filled, I think. And so it's a little bit different from a process perspective, I think.
Okay, that's helpful. I wasn't involved in it previously, so I'm learning as well.
Exactly.
Gagan?
Yeah, thanks. I just wanted to mention through the chair that we will be bringing another report maybe next month, I think, that talks specifically about the green teams and the plan for that. So this is something separate, but we will be talking to the green teams item and how they might be involved in Canada Day.
That's great. Thanks. Rochelle?
Yeah, and I just wanted to provide a bit of clarity on sort of the details. And yeah, Councilor Ntoski is correct that the intention is that we'll provide supplies to people. They can come and pick up garbage bags and blue bags with some instructions on how to sort their waste and the process for how this is going to go. And they'll bring those bags, the filled bags or half-filled bags, to the collection hub location. And then the idea was sort of just to measure that and say we have 100 garbage bags, which is 20 tons or whatever that measurement is. So if there's an opportunity maybe to sort of look through some of the recycling and help sort of sort that better, if we see anything obvious that we can help clean up the recycling stream or something like that, that could be valuable. But yeah, it's not like the Canada Day event where we have the separate bins and people are putting like pieces of litter into the bins. They're bringing their collected bags of litter to the park or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments? Seeing none. I don't know. It seems like a good tie-in with the committee. Do we want to do a vote on continuing to participate in this, and I'd love to see the plans. Like, it sounds like there's some development that's already taken place, but I think it'd be a good tie-in with our committee here. Oh, Councillor.
I was just going to say, if you'd like a motion, I can move that SPAC continues to follow and be involved in ways to be identified with the Earth Week litter cleanup.
And I will second that.
Sounds great. Do you want to call for the vote then? All in favor? I think that's everyone. Unanimous. And do we need to also accept that report still from Rochelle, I believe, right?
Yes, so we'll need a mover and a seconder to place.
I'll move the reception of the report.
That's great.
I can
And
second
second.
that.
Perfect. All right, all in favor? All right, unanimous again. It's great. I believe then I'll just thank Rochelle for providing that update. And I believe we can move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the SPAC video project update. And that's Rochelle again.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Yeah, I just wanted to provide a quick update. I know that this has been an ongoing project. And just for a bit of background, SPAC decided, many meetings ago to get involved in providing a video project to create awareness about the urgency and the need for climate action in the community and sort of highlight some of the efforts that are underway and provide some education and motivation, excitement about climate action at the city. So that project is underway. We were planning to start filming some of those videos at the end of last year, but that was delayed due to COVID. And so the plan right now is to wait until the spring. So there's a little bit nicer background for some of these videos once we have some foliage out there on the trees. So I just wanted to provide you with that update and let you know where that's sitting. And I think we're hoping that the completed videos will be available in late spring or early summer for review. I think that the idea is that that will come to this committee for review before that's finalized and approved.
Yeah, that sounds great. Any questions for Rochelle on that? Right, I'm not seeing any. Can we have a mover and a seconder to place that item? I guess are we in favor of accepting the report? I think we just can go right to that, right?
So we do, procedurally, we do need to place the item on the floor. So we need the mover and seconder. Once we have our mover and seconder, if we're not in favor of the report, then when we call the vote, that will be when we vote against the report.
Okay.
Just from a procedural standpoint. Okay.
I appreciate that. So can we have a mover and seconder to place the item on the floor then? Okay, Alicia, second. Mark. All right, so that would be for the SPAC video project update to be received. And any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All right, it's carried then. All right, and moving on to consent items. This is the minutes section. I don't know if I've had a chance to review those, but can we have a mover and a seconder to adopt the minutes? Councillor Antosky and Alicia, seconder. All right, so that would be that the minutes are from September 23rd, 2021 for the Environmental Sustainability Policy Advisory Committee to be approved. Any discussion on those? Seeing none, so all in favor? And that's carried as well. Resolutions, are there any notices of motion? No, there are not. No resolutions or notices of motion. Oh, Councillor Antosky.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Not notices, not resolutions or notices of motions, but before you went to adjournment, I just wanted to give a quick update that I thought would be of interest to this committee. We ratified the budget last night, I think it was. And some really good news from our perspective. We approved moving the green bin program up from 2025, I think, till 2023. So we've put money aside so that we can start that next year. That is a huge thing for us. We've been on this for a long, long time. We also approved the capital. So the capital piece that will buy all the bins and do some upgrades to the facility, and then the operational piece to be able to run the program. So that's really, really exciting. Also, you may know that we've started to electrify our fleet. We had 3 vehicles now coming up for renewal, and it wasn't in the budget to account for the extra upfront costs. So we approved another $45,000 to make sure that those are going to be electric vehicles rather than gas. We just received our 2 electric Zambonis, which is super exciting. And they've got all kinds of, cheeky logos on the sides of them and things. So really well done. And I'm sure, I think I've got the big points. Rochelle, Gagan, or Andy, if there's anything major I'm forgetting, if you can jump in, but that from my perspective and from an environmental and sustainability perspective, huge win for us, because we really haven't been able to move the needle very far in a number of years. So this is huge. And the green bin was a big ticket item on our budget. So I'm just really happy we got that through. And if anybody else needs to add, they can add, but I think those are the big ones.
I just wanted to add one more item, which was there was also the waste strategy approved, which was which is exciting. So the city is going to be developing a waste strategy looking towards becoming a zero waste community. So I'm sure there will be opportunity to engage on that strategy as well from SPAC.
Thank you, Rochelle. That was a huge one. There is great strategy. We're hoping to push some limits on that still. So.
Is that waste strategy related to the survey that was put out recently? I thought I saw that in the news that there was a survey and some results. I'm just wondering if that's all one and the same, or that's a different project.
Through the chair, yes, I believe it was the same one, the solid waste strategy. So we did do a full communications campaign on our Let's Talk Brantford page. We got a lot of respondents on this one, about over 200, which is great to see. And that helped us to develop that solid waste strategy and show that people were supportive of our goals.
Could you also send that report to Lisa to get out to the members of SPAC?
I believe SPAC was CC'd on that report, but if not, we can send a link to it.
Thank you. I never remember where I see them, but because I just know I've seen them.
That's great. One other comment. I don't know if it's the right spot. I'm new in the role. Regarding the green bin strategy, I wonder if there's going to be educational materials coming out for residents over the next year in advance of that.
To the chair, there is going to be an extensive education campaign. I can't recall at this time. This might be something we bring back to the committee if that was going to be this year what the operating budget was used for, or next year, but prior to implementation, there will definitely be a heavy communications component.
That's great. It would be great to have that, just details of that or an update come to the committee later on in the year when we get closer. Yeah. Great. If there's any other questions or comments. All right, seeing none. If it's all the same to everyone else, I think we've gone through our business and the meeting can be adjourned. That's great. Thanks for everyone attending.
Great job, Chair. Thank you both, David and Alicia, for taking the spots, and thanks for all the staff coming out and hanging out with us.